Welcome to JoyNews Prime with me, Sweetie Aboch. In our first story, 7 people have died in the Upper West region as cases of cerebrospinal meningitis increase there. The region has so far recorded 19 suspected cases. Deputy Regional Director of Public Health, Dr. Collins Boateng-Dankwa, says the disease is predominant in 6 municipalities and districts, assuring that his outfit has enough logistics and vaccines to handle the situation. Rafiq Salam reports.
Cerebrospinal meningitis, CSM, or simple called meningitis, is a severe infection that inflames the meninges, the protective membrane surrounding the brain and spinal cord. It occurs in various parts of the country, but more prevalent in the northern Gulf of the country, where they experience a long dry spell between October and March. The Upper West region lies on the CSM belt. On a yearly basis, several suspected, confirmed, and cases of mortality of the disease has always been recorded. This year is no exception, as the disease already has recorded 19 suspected cases and 6 deaths. Dr. Collins Boateng-Dankwa is the Deputy Upper West Regional Director of Health Services in charge of public health.
We've recorded it in 6 districts, as I have said. We have 1 case being recorded at DBI. It's a suspect being suspected at DBI. Jirapa 2 cases, Lambusie 2, Nadoli Kali 7, Mandro Municipal 5, and then Wild West 3. So these are what we have gotten now. But based on those that we have confirmed using the PCR, Nadoli Kali has been confirmed with 4, and then Mandro Municipal 3, and then Wild West 1. These have been confirmed with the PCR. And then out of this, we have 6 deaths, 3 occurring at Nandom, and then 3 occurring at Nadoli. But with Nadoli, the later part of 2024, we recorded 1 death, which was around 30th December. So that makes it 4. But for this month, January.
Dr. Collins Boateng-Dankwa spoke of the age range of the suspected cases of the disease.
If you look at the age range of the deaths, or the age range of people who have died, is between 20 to 25 years. So, and you know, these ages are when the issue is that when they get the headache or the neck pain, they think it's normal. Let's go and buy paracetamol and take. They will not resort to the hospital. For instance, when a child gets fever, the mother will quickly send him or her to the hospital. But with this age bracket, they normally think, oh, it's because of stress I'm getting headache, let me take para. So I want to tell them that this is not about normal headache, I'm going to take paracetamol. You plead with them. Once you get the headache and neck stiffness and you are in Upper West region, kindly visit any nearby hospital.
He also spoke of the 2 strains of the disease that health workers are battling with.
So all the deaths that we have recorded now, or the cases we have recorded now, is only 1 case that the patient recorded the 2, both Neisseria meningitis and Streptococcus pneumoniae, but all the other 5 cases were Streptococcus pneumoniae. And what I want the public to know is that with the Streptococcus pneumoniae, there is no vaccine for it.
He averred that some of the deaths would have been averted if the victims had sought early treatment at a health facility or in a hospital.
The region has prepared adequately. We have the logistics, we have the drugs, everything is available. So we don't see how or why people should sit when they have any of the symptoms I have mentioned: headache, neck stiffness, and then high-grade fever. Please just report to any nearby facility. Now, the more we suspect and then we take the sample early, that is when we are able to bring the disease down.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
In other stories, the 2024 NDC parliamentary candidate for Effutu has condemned attacks on the party office in the area by some NDC supporters. The supporters on Thursday went on rampage, ostensibly disappointed that James Kofi Annan did not get any appointment by President John Dramani Mahama. Now, James Kofi Annan, in response, is asking the supporters to channel their energies into helping the President John Dramani Mahama to succeed at work to better the lives of the lot of Ghanaians.
Happening in the Effutu constituency last Friday is unfortunate, and I condemn it in no uncertain terms. I received an intel on the dawn of the incident that some of the youth have planned to go and disrupt a constituency executive meeting that was being held in my office. So I called the deputy communications officer and told him about it and asked him to lock the offices and asked him to tell the chairman that the meeting should not be held in my office. Then later I also received an intel that the youth were now going to hold a press conference. So I called the municipal officer for DNI, now NIB, to inform him about it and gave him the contact of the youth leader who I had heard was going to be the one to address the press. So I thought that I was done because I was not in the constituency. So unfortunately, later I heard that they had gone to attack the constituency executives, demanding that I should be given a position. I feel that it is an unnecessary, needless action. It's an unnecessary pressure that they are bringing to bear on me and on the president. The government of the NDC is only about 2 weeks old. We cannot put pressure on a government that's only 2 weeks old. And I believe that probably I might have contributed in a way to what happened, because during the campaign period, I promised my constituents that if they vote for me and I become an MP, I'll give them Winneba Central Market, I'll give them a factory, and I told them that I believe I will be given an appointment that will make them proud. So it looks like they are just demanding the things that I promised I was going to do for them. But you should remember that I promised to do those things for you on condition that you elected me as your member of parliament. In this particular instance, I did not win the seat. You did not elect me as your member of parliament. So I wonder why you are putting pressure on me to deliver on a promise that you did not honor your part.
Moving on from that, Deputy Chief of Staff Nana Oyebampoado says President John Dramani Mahama's administration will leverage the affirmative action law to promote gender equality and empower women. Reacting to criticism regarding the number of women given positions in the government, she said there's still some 7% of female appointments for President Mahama to fulfill the mandatory 30% requirement for women participation in his government. Nana Oyebampoado has been speaking with Stephen Mensah.
Yesterday, at the swearing-in of 5 ministers, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama stated clearly that as of yesterday, he has appointed women and has hit the 27% mark. So we have 3 more points to hit 30%. And he assured Ghanaians that he will definitely hit the 30% mark. So rest assured, the people of Ghana, especially women of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama is committed to appointing women with skills, women with experience, hardworking women, so that together we all reset Ghana.
In other news, Managing Director of ARB Apex Bank, Alex Kwesi Ewa, is asking Ghanaians to totally transform their lifestyles to combat a rise in non-communicable diseases, particularly renal kidney failure. Recent reports from major health facilities indicate a significant increase in these conditions, highlighting the urgent need for preventive measures. There's more in the following report. Globally, levels of physical inactivity continue to rise, largely due to the development of new technologies that make it easier for people to perform certain activities. Office workers in particular are more prone to higher levels of physical inactivity because they spend a significant portion of their working hours, an average of 9.7 hours, with little opportunity for exercise. Alex Kwesi Ewa, Managing Director of ARB Apex Bank, is advocating for proactive measures to address the alarming increase in non-communicable diseases.
You take the life of people who work in banks. All the time we are sitting down, and there is a lot of pressure. And so we had to inculcate this in the minds of our people that, hey, it is important that whilst you soak the pressure at the workplace, sometimes you just have to find time to come here, walk, try to exercise yourself so that physically you can be fit for the job that we do. And we see that it is important as bankers. This is so important because of the role that we play. We cannot, spend all our time at the workplace and then we go on retirement and we are sick. That is something which we need to avoid. And even apart from corporate initiatives like this, we encourage all our staff that individually, they and their families, they should be able to exercise, keep healthy, so that they can continue to live long.
For Francisca Dede Afufu, head of the Human Capital Department, employers and employees should prioritize incorporating healthy lifestyles into their New Year objectives. She believes that making wellness a key goal can lead to a more productive and engaged workforce.
This initiative is not a one-off something. Since the MD assumed office 3 years ago, we have a strategic plan. And as part of the plan, we have the objective to, have this program annually, come together. The year has just started. We need to prepare to face the year. Yeah, so we do this to bring together our people, socialize and network, with the rural banks. A new year, new resolutions. That is very true. So we just ended 2024. We've worked very hard. We made some strides. Where we didn't do well, we have to make sure that we improve. So this is our message to our staff. Let us go a step further to make sure that the things we didn't do well in 2024, this year, we'll do it even better and more.
Some participants of the event shared their motivations for joining the exercise.
It has impacted us in so many ways so that we keep very strong and fit.
Truly, this kind of initiative is good. Aside the networking that we are having among ourselves, as my colleague said, as banks, if you look at our medical bills, it keeps on rising due to this sitting arrangement. It's not helping us at all. So once in a while, when we come out and we exercise like this, it tries to give us a healthy body to work very, and it also improves productivity.
The Ghana Boundary Commission's expertise is gaining recognition across Africa as it continues to provide mentorship to many African countries seeking to strengthen their boundary commissions. Recognizing Ghana's experience and success, some African countries grappling with the daunting task of establishing frameworks for their operations sought guidance from the Ghana Boundary Commission. In a 2024 assessment interview with JoyNews, Commissioner General Major General Emmanuel Kutia expressed his commitment to strengthening the Commission's influence further in 2025.
The first instance of sharing our experience was with the Boundary Commission with Guinea and Sierra Leone. That was in Cote d'Ivoire, where we were invited to share our experience on how to establish Boundary Commission, because those countries were in the process of establishing those commissions. Now, the second instance was when the African Union Boundary Program, in collaboration with the GIZ, organized an experience workshop for SADC countries, Southern African Development countries in Ghana. And all the states came, and they even included Ethiopia from East Africa, and then Kenya. Now, what we did was to give them framework of how the Ghana's Boundary Commission was established, and then lay out some of the frameworks that they require to establish boundary commissions. Frameworks such as a law that must establish the boundary commission. You need to have a strategic plan. You need to have a scheme of service for staff. You need to have a legislative instrument establishing certain conditions and conditions of service for staff and what have you. So we're able to give that experience. Going forward also, the ECOWAS decided to contact us for us to organize to the first Heads of Boundary Commission meeting, workshop. So the act establishing the Ghana Boundary Commission was gazetted in 2010. It's an act of parliament that was passed in 2010 and gazetted in 2010. Now, the object of the Ghana Boundary Commission is to demarcate land boundaries and do a delimitation of maritime boundaries with a neighboring country. Now, in addition, the Ghana Boundary Commission undertakes other responsibilities like social intervention, organizing social intervention for deprived border communities, also doing reaffirmation with a neighboring country along the international land and maritime boundary lines, and also offering solutions, intervening if there are border conflicts along our international boundary with our neighbors. And for the last 4 years, we've been able to resolve quite a number of potential border issues along our international boundaries, especially with our eastern neighbors. There are some few issues that came up at our western boundary and our northern boundary with Burkina Faso.
Let's take a quick break. When we return, the news continues. You're still watching JoyNews Prime with me, Sweetie Abochi. Moving on, life is gradually returning to normalcy in Obuasi following last week's military clash with some illegal miners in Ghana's oldest gold mining town. Schools and other essential services suspended in the impasse are resuming. However, some private and public schools are recording reduced attendance as some parents fear reprisals despite heavy security deployment in the town. Emmanuel Bright Kweku has more.
Students of the complex model school in Obuasi are back to the classroom and happily engaged in the day's activities. In the last 2 days, schools, including universities and the gold mining town, closed temporarily, culminating from the violent clash between soldiers and some illegal miners in the community. Like many other schools in the town, the Obuasi cluster of schools, housing 4 schools, recorded low attendance on the first day after the short break. The situation has compelled teachers to merge classes for teaching and learning.
And now me dear Moka Yentinti Empoye de Mimi de say dear me say I just a mind day and obey the Oboku school.
My daughter doesn't attend AGA school, but I am scared to let her go to school. Even though schools have resumed, I will let her go on Monday instead. I am waiting for everything to be calmer before I let her go.
Uncle school me say Monday kon bibia ye jia na fede mama na start.
Life is back to the KNUST campus in Obuasi as students actively return to lectures to make up for the lost time. But there are fears of reprisal even as they go about their academic activities.
Though we are safe and we go to class, nothing is happening around us. But there is this fear that is in us that there's a probability that something might happen to us or something. So I just wish everything ends so that at least that psychological effect that is having on us would be gone.
While students in the Obuasi municipality return to class, their colleagues in the Obuasi East district are yet to resume from their 3-day hiatus.
This is the Tutuka Methodist Primary School located specifically in the Obuasi East district. And as you can see, the classrooms remain under lock and key. There's no students around and even teachers. We understand that hopefully tomorrow they should resume school. Authorities here have indicated that they are hoping the tensions will be calmer and peace will be restored in this particular district.
George Kumsen is the education director in Obuasi Municipal.
So with this incident and the 2 days lost, we are going to make sure that our morning reading sessions, we are going to use those periods to make up for the lost contact hours. The learners and then the teachers and the officer, we are not the target. But as it happens, when there is chaos like that, anyone at all can be affected. With the security in place, there are patrols here and there, and I believe the other sides are also being talked to.
Management of the AGA schools have also announced reopening on Monday.
Meanwhile, the Asante Otumfuo Tutu has condemned the actions of the illegal miners who invaded the mining site leading to the clash.
I'm also aware of the threats to your employees also. I've been briefed about that, and therefore that also the steps that you've taken to make sure that your workers and employees are also protected.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we don't have a minister for lands now. He's gone through vetting, because that's also another step where we will discuss broadly with the government in terms of policy in relation to illegal mining, the Galamsey issue. So it's another one. So I know that will come up after the minister is in place, and then we have a very candid and thorough meeting with the president and the minister to see the way forward in relation to dealing with that. I recall in 2016 where this issue came up at that time, and I'm also saying that we should see the portion of about 60 acres or whatever to the illegal miners at that time and all that. In fact, there were vibes that even though Anglo Gold honors its part, the portion didn't go to the people that were supposed to go to. And even though that was done, Anglo Gold honored their part, and we ceded the 60%, 60 whatever acres to whatever. So this all has been lingering, and people arguing that it didn't come to us, so we didn't have anywhere to go. And that is also not acceptable for people to take the law into their own hands to go and disturb legitimate business, which Anglo Gold and Obuasi are intertwined. The community relies on the mining company. The mining company also is there because it's for the community, and that it is not acceptable. People cannot just say that because we want to eat, we have to go to the mine. No, that cannot be done. We are not living in a banana republic. The law must be obeyed. Because if I'm living in my house here, this lease has been given to me. Someone just cannot walk in to say, I also want somewhere to live, and therefore I'm coming to live in your house.
The National Media Commission is cautioning the media against inciting comments to stoke violence. The call comes in the wake of widespread criticism against some journalists who supposedly called for a mob action against Anglo Gold Ashanti. Speaking on Newsfile, Executive Secretary of the National Media Commission, George Sapong, says media practitioners should be mindful of the legal liabilities that come with making such pronouncements.
So, Samson, the point I was seeking to make is that we need to see what this presenter is doing within its context. He is only a puppet player. Those who are holding the strings controlling him also need to be brought to order. As far as the National Media Commission is concerned, this was the idea behind LIT for the content standards in electronic communication. And we strongly believe that all of us need to review. I heard you raise the question of jurisdiction, and I knew that you were seeking to educate the public. Let all those who sit outside and send in wrongful content understand that you do not avoid liability by standing at Aflao and throwing bomb into Togo and claiming that there are no jurisdictional matters in there. It is the same thing that applies to media content. Where you sit to do the act may not matter. The society that you impact may well be where you be held liable.
Yeah, but the thing is that they take safety in the fact that they are not in your country. You can't get them. That's what I mean. For those who are operating virtually.
And you are right. But I think we need to deal with three things and help them to understand that they will not avoid liability for long. The enforcement challenges are completely different from the questions of liability, and they need to learn them.
And that's a wrap for JoyNews Prime for today. I'm Sweetie Abochi, but for more news, log on to myjoyonline.com to stay updated and informed. Whatever you're up to this evening, I hope it's blessed.